a series of kick beats and rolls in jazz setting. Now, you have to go back to look at the previous segment on this, where we talked about the skeletal outline. I'm just going to play one or two of those beats. You know, we had one, and we said that with those skeletal outlines, you start realizing where a lot of the hits are in many charts. You know, kick, 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 kick. So now we're just going to put some rolls to that, and we did cover in another segment 3, 4, 5, 6 stroke rolls, 7 stroke rolls, all the way up through the whole measure being a roll. So now that you know where a lot of the hits are, the hits meaning like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can put appropriate rolls in as you see fit, and those rolls could be open or closed. Okay? Could be used as a substitute for some of the strokes. Older arrangements, the bass drum and the cymbal kick would be like simultaneous. Bam. And a lot of your subsequent arrangements in the jazz big band setting and swing, before the cymbal, might come after the cymbal crash. So it depends upon what the arrangement is, the period of music. We're talking jazz, mostly swinging. It could be small, medium, or large band, but the idea is that you now have a command of rolls. You can do rolls, we count them a lot of different ways, and you now know that you can link them to some of the major hits in the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you get your feel for the rolls, you know where a lot of these standard, hits are coming from. A lot of these, kicks. You could start playing around with the different tempos. 1, 2, 3. you want to get your basic skeletal outline of where a lot of the arrangements are going to have hits. They might be horns, crescendos. If it's a guitar or a small band, it's going to be piano, guitar, hits. Bam, bam, bam. Right? You want to know where those basic hit points are. Then you could fill them in with rolls appropriately. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stroke rolls, closed, open, and set them up any which way you want to get the feel of what you want, and go across the bar if need be. So again, you go back to the other video where we just talked about the skeletal outline of these hits. Go back to some of the other videos where we talked about rolls, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stroke rolls, all different ways. Starting the accent on the first part of the rolls, putting the accent on the back end of the roll, open and closed, learning to count them. We mentioned some of the traditional studies that might be very helpful with this would be like Wilcox and Rudimental Swing Solos, National Association of Rudimental Drummers, Marching. Those books are going to get you the feeling of where to place rolls and how to come in and out of the measure. Well, with that skill set, you now translate it over to swing and slow, medium, and up tempo, and you learn where you want to put your rolls. The cleaner the rolls, the better. And with this particular outline in that lesson we covered previously, you'll now have a really good feel for where a lot of the arrangements are going to take you. And yes, as more modern arrangements take place, these kick beats start appearing in different places. But you know, you get used to that from reading, and we'll have a whole section on you know, a quick run through of charts and reading and why it's important if you're going to work in that type of setting. You know, if you're just going to work in your local rock band or even in your jazz quartet and you're going to work out a lot of the arrangements and rehearsals, reading is fine, but you're not going to be like a super duper sight reader. But if you're going to work where in shows or in a lot of different bands and you're going to be filling in for people and you have to do things on the fly, then of course sight reading becomes important, and you'll start seeing that a lot of these kicks start appearing the same way in some arrangements, and then in the newer arrangements you're going to say, hey, wait a minute, they're using 32nd notes and 16th notes, and they're placing these hits in a lot of different places. You know, they'll have them in some odd places. You'll see it, and you'll be able to play it. But this is giving you the core, the foundational way of getting your rolls in where. And remember, start the rolls on either hand, depending upon what you need. If you need to come out. So that's another thing you want to get comfortable with. Sum it up, get those core skeletal outlines, review all the different rolls, open and closed, starting with the right hand, starting with the left hand, then start placing them in this context. Of course, you have to listen to a lot of the music and start realizing what a lot of the great drummers over the years have done, how they've used these rolls. Buddy Rich was like, you know, prolific with that kind of thing, placing those rolls in a lot in between. Other drummers used less of it, but still became very important to setting it up. Louis Bellson, a lot of the big band drummers with Duke Ellington and Count Basie and so many others, would use the rolls appropriately. Mel Lewis would do nice setups and kicks. So it really does bring a flavor to the whole performance, and it's just a must. We'll also cover funk and you know, rock and fusion drummers, how they use rolls and how some of the different whole set of phrases require you to use them differently. But one thing is going to be a command of the rolls, 3, 4, 5-stroke rolls, 7, 9s, 11s, and you feel comfortable with them, open and closed, they apply across all of the music you're going to play, from the simplest to the most complex. So that's it. Remember, make sure your rolls are clean and clear. Note where a lot of the bus stops are, and then you can link to those hits with rolls. You could roll from one hit all the way through to the next, if that makes sense at some point in the arrangements. Okay? So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, do so. If you have comments and questions, you could put them in the comment section. And if you want to contact me on my website, keepthebeatwithpete.com, and we can talk about this in more detail. You let me know that. Okay, so that summarizes this one. Remember, keep the beat with Pete. Peace out.